Hi everyone, my name is Julia Palermo with Palermo and Associates located in New York, and I'm here today to answer your pressing litigation questions. But first, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and follow me on Instagram and Twitter. All the links are in the description box below, along with all my other information. Super quick video today. It's actually really sunny out. So I just want to talk today very briefly about the differences between a dismissal and a discharge. So when you do a bankruptcy, what you're looking for is a discharge. What that means is that all of your debts have been discharged. They've been taken off. You don't have to worry about them anymore and they're gone. In a Chapter 7, this means that they're wiped clean after you've gone through all the necessary processes like the 341 meeting and the trustee has decided that there's no assets, or they have decided there's assets and they've sold them or they've distributed them and everything's been settled. In a Chapter 13, the discharge comes after you've made all of your payments and you finish what's called your plan. Once your plan is complete and all the payments made, then you get your discharge. A dismissal, on the other hand, is what we don't want. A dismissal happens for a number of reasons. In a Chapter 7, it could happen because you didn't put in all the information that you needed to in your schedules when you first filed. So when you file for bankruptcy, be it a Chapter 7 or a Chapter 13, you have to fill out something that's called schedules. And these schedules have information on them. They include your assets, your income, your debts, your creditors, all of these things. If you have a house, you have to list the house, you have to list your car. Where are you working? There's also a means test that has to be filled out. If any one of these schedules isn't filled out and provided to the bankruptcy court within 14 days of you filing a bankruptcy, the court will dismiss your case, which means that all those cards, all those credit cards, medical bills, foreclosures, all the debts that you were trying to avoid or mitigate are still there. They didn't go away. They didn't go anywhere. If anything, you now are going to be on the hook for them, and they may actually be a little higher because if the dismissal happens, let's say a couple of months later, not right away, all those months that they've been sitting there, I'm sure those creditors are looking for that amount of money as well. The other time that these dismissals happen is, let's say, at a 341 meeting, if the trustee asks for information and you don't provide it, they can do a dismissal then. If there's a Chapter 13 case, if you don't make your payment, so you have to make payments in Chapter 13. Chapter 7 you don't, Chapter 13 you do. If you don't make the payments to the trustee, they will dismiss your case. Now, these payments actually start way before your 341 meeting. So keep that in mind, and please talk to your attorney about when you should be and how much you should be making to the trustee. And also, how should you be making these payments? Every trustee has their own way that they prefer to receive payments. So make sure you're doing it correctly, because failure to make payments or making constant late payments is actually a cause for the trustee to ask for a dismissal, which I know you don't want, especially in a Chapter 13, because a lot of you are putting in payments already and trying to save, be it a home or your car or a business, and you have the money to pay off these debts. So it would be very good and very wise of you to keep in mind how much, when, and how you should be making these payments. There are other ways that the court will decide, or other things that happen that the court does or will decide that your case should be dismissed. This could also be, let's say you have a foreclosure and the bank attorney for the foreclosure decides, hey, we still want to foreclose on you and we don't think that you're doing the right thing. We think that this was done in fraud. They may bring a motion and the judge may agree with them, or they may not. So there's quite a few different ways that a dismissal may happen, and there's only two ways that a discharge happens. Either you do everything right in a Chapter 7, the papers go in and you get your discharge, or again, you do all the papers right, you make all your payments in the Chapter 13 and you get your discharge. So just be aware that it's almost easier to get a dismissal than a discharge. So you want to be very careful in your filings, in your paperwork, and whatever your attorney tells you to do, try and follow to the T. So this way you do not end up in a situation where you've put in all this effort, all this work, paid your attorney, and the judge dismissed your case. So I just want to talk about this really quickly, just a little briefly, because I feel like this is something that maybe a lot of people don't really know or understand. And I know I've had a few clients who weren't very aware of the situation, or I've seen cases where I've been in court and I've watched where people who try to file bankruptcy on their own, like especially a Chapter 13, is really when I see most of this happening. And they are not aware of some of the rules and regulations behind Chapter 13. Again, like making the payments, how much, when, where they should be making them, in what way. And that tends to be where a lot of people in Chapter 13 have their cases dismissed. The other way is not filling out the paperwork properly, not having everything dotted, every T's crossed. So you want to make sure that you definitely go through your paperwork thoroughly before you submit anything, and make sure you meet those deadlines, because not meeting deadlines, surefire way to have your case dismissed. Anyway, I hope this was really helpful, and if you have any other questions or you want to know any other information, please leave a comment below or send me an email or a DM on Instagram. Thank you and have a wonderful day.